A point arrives in each individual's existence where the realization dawns that tranquility isn't derived from external approval, adulation, or affirmation. Instead, it stems from such a profound grounding in one's own being that no person or circumstance can disturb it. This is the juncture at which one becomes composed, serene, and impervious. This state isn't achieved through an attempt to be harsh or aloof, but rather through attaining self-mastery. Understand, we inhabit a society that often applauds the boisterous, the rash, and the emotionally volatile. However, if you aspire to genuine strength, the type that remains steadfast regardless of public perception or shifting conditions, you must cultivate an existence in quietude. It is essential to cultivate the ability to watch rather than merely respond, to be more receptive in hearing than in speaking, and to act with deliberate purpose instead of being driven by emotional urges. One must grasp that serenity is not a sign of feebleness. It is, in fact, command. And command, in its most profound meaning, originates from within. Individuals will challenge you, existence will hem you in, and every aspect you believed you had conquered will reappear to question whether genuine transformation has occurred. It is in these moments, not in tranquil waters, but amidst the tempest, that emotional fortitude is shaped. You must permit the turmoil to rage around you while maintaining your core stability, akin to an age-old rock steadfast against the gales. Retribution does not invariably involve direct deeds. At times, the most effective form of requital is achieving such a level of composure, accomplishment, and heightened self-discipline that those who endeavored to undermine you must confront the truth of their failure to shatter you. This is the essence of being impervious, not insusceptible to suffering, but insusceptible to manipulation. It signifies not apathy, but rather dominion over your feelings. To appear dispassionate does not imply an absence of empathy. It signifies that you cease permitting your emotions to be wielded as weapons against you. It indicates you have discovered how to direct your inner intensity, to power your endeavors, your aspirations, and your recuperation. Your composure is not mere quietness. It is a deliberate decision against expending energy on matters that do not align with your objectives. Society will entice you to respond, to protect your reputation, to justify your choices, and to demonstrate your value. Yet, succumbing to these temptations means relinquishing your strength on each occasion. Allow them to misconstrue your intentions. Let them gossip. The lion remains untroubled by the views of the sheep. You attain a state of being composed, serene, and impervious through consistently prioritizing your own well-being. You cease pursuing affection that mistakes fervor for fidelity. You discontinue attempts to clarify yourself to individuals determined to misinterpret you. You withdraw from conflicts that merely deplete your energy. You discover how to be comfortable in your solitude without experiencing loneliness. Crucially, you school yourself to address disrespect with detachment rather than theatrics. Self-control becomes your weapon. Disengagement is your defense. And quietude? Quietude is the stronghold safeguarding your intellect. Each instance you opt to restrain your speech, to halt before taking action, or to retreat instead of erupting, you fortify that stronghold. You grow less susceptible, less foreseeable, and more potent. Being impervious does not signify that nothing impacts you. It signifies that you govern the manner in which things impact you. This implies that the very elements which previously caused you to unravel now flow through you without eliciting a response. It means you have cultivated sufficient self-understanding to perceive your triggers as instructive experiences rather than destructive traps. Recall that the most formidable individuals are frequently the most reserved in any gathering. They have no requirement to demonstrate their worth. They do not crave notice. They find satisfaction in their tranquility, concentrate on their personal development, and recognize the dynamics unfolding around them, yet they elect not to diminish themselves. That is genuine fortitude. Reaching this state is not an instantaneous process. It involves moments of collapse. It necessitates experiencing deprivation. It necessitates enduring disloyalty. It necessitates extended periods of confronting your anguish until you ultimately resolve that no individual will ever again cause you to forfeit your true self. It demands selecting serenity over turmoil, meaning over fleeting enjoyment, and internal strength over external validation. So, how does one achieve this state of being composed, serene, and impervious? You cultivate the ability to navigate suffering with equanimity. You perfect the skill of non-reaction. You notice all things yet internalize only what benefits you. You transform into the type of individual who remains steadfast when incited, who does not plead when forsaken, and who does not yield under duress. You evolve into someone capable of solitude without disintegrating, capable of facing skepticism without self-doubt, and capable of profound affection while always maintaining their core equilibrium. That is the authentic transformation. Not more vociferous, not more ostentatious, but more tranquil, more composed, more lucid. You move with the assurance of someone who understands their identity. You articulate yourself only when essential. You operate quietly and allow your achievements to be your statement. For ultimately, command is not concerned with overpowering others. It revolves around achieving self-dominion. And upon accomplishing that, you become genuinely impervious. This is the Stoic way. This is now your path. And if you have progressed to this point in this message, then you are not merely observing. You are experiencing an awakening. You are starting to grasp that emotional fortitude is not about stifling anguish, but about transmuting it. That quietude is not a void. It is a state of being present. That detachment is not frigidity. It is lucidity. Therefore, embrace this instant and allow it to firmly root itself within your spirit. Let it signify a pivotal change, not at some future date, not in the coming week, but presently. The world has no need for an additional boisterous sound. It requires an individual who acts with intention, an individual who can be amidst a cacophony and stay undisturbed, an individual who does not seek notice, but rather earns deference. Begin this day. Utter fewer words. Experience more profoundly. Condition your intellect as a combatant conditions their physique, not for destruction, but for the safeguarding of your tranquility. Each hour dedicated to self-control, each limit you establish, each feeling you manage in quietude instead of eruption, signifies you advancing further into your own strength. And when society attempts to unsettle you, challenge you, or incite you, simply offer a smile. Not due to being untouched, but due to being indomitable. Because you have traversed infernos and discovered how to utilize the blaze to illuminate your own journey. Never permit anyone to witness your vulnerability again. Not because fragility is disgraceful, but because fortitude is now your deliberate selection. You are not present to be comprehended by all. You are present to comprehend yourself with such profundity that you become impervious to the world's disarray. You are present to ascend, not merely to respond, to lead, not to pursue, to evolve, not to implore. Therefore, recall this counsel, recall this inner fervor, during moments of solitude, during trials, during periods of pain, for it is then that you will transform into the person you were always destined to be, composed, serene, impervious,